I was born in 1953 to a young girl who was basically a rape victim. I was given up for adoption at birth, and I was very lucky. I was adopted into a nice home. And growing up, we weren't wealthy, but we were comfortable. And I had a chance to go to university, and I took it. And my whole life was bettered by that.
And when did you find out that you were conceived in rape, Terry?
My mother told me when I was a teenager, and figured I was old enough to deal with it. I always knew I was adopted, but it didn't have any particular meaning to me at the time. And I took it as a sign that I was meant to be there.
Right, exactly. Well, that must have been a difficult thing to talk about with your adoptive mother, eh?
No, she was quite open about it. She was a wonderful woman. She had problems carrying a child to term, and I remember her telling me once, in 10 years of marriage to my father, she had 11 miscarriages.
Wow.
So I was adopted, and my next younger sister, who's 3 years younger than me, was adopted as well. And then years later, when my mother was in her 40s, she was able to conceive, and I have another younger sister. She's 9 years younger than me.
So when she was younger, she couldn't conceive, but when she got older, she could conceive.
That's right. She had a condition, I hope I'm getting this right, pernicious anemia, and it prevented her apparently from carrying a fetus full term. She started receiving, I think it was injections of B12 in the 1960s, and I guess her general health improved to the point where she was able to conceive. She was 45 when my sister.
Wow, well that's an unusual story too.
It is a bit of one, I suppose.
What do you think when people say, even in our country and other countries, of course in Canada there are no laws to protect the unborn, but in some countries they say, well, they have gestational laws, but there's always the rape exception. And, they say, what about but not for rape, and incest, which of course is rape.
Mm-hmm.
And how would you respond to that? You're an exception, and, everybody but you should be okay to have no abortion. But you, of course, you were conceived in rape, you must be aborted. That's what everybody thinks.
I would have an argument with that. I'm a believer that life starts at conception. And, if a woman doesn't want a child, I have known in the past several childless couples that had trouble adopting, and I'm sure that if a young woman or a woman of any age doesn't want the child, it can be given up quite safely for adoption. There are provincial agencies that deal with just that matter.
Did you ever meet your birth mother?
No. When I was adopted, there were very strict laws against revealing any of the personal details. I remember my mother giving me a little insight into that as I was growing up. And after my mother passed away, I was given my original adoption documents, and there's a very stern warning on the back of the document that makes it clear it was then a violation of the law to reveal, to refer to me as with the natural child of my two adoptive parents. In fact, I have a birth certificate in my wallet that shows my adoptive parents as my parents. There's no mention of my birth mother. As to who the father is, I am unclear.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing, Terry, because if a mother thought, right now they say that this won't be revealed, but in 20 years it might be, that might cause her to not want to give the child away, release the child into adoption. So you want to make sure that is secure.
Well, it is, and my understanding, and I could be wrong about this, but the way the law is crafted now is that you can make a request to the relevant provincial agency, and if there's already a request on file, suppose I made such a request and there was a request on file from my birth mother, then we will be giving each other's contact information. If there's only one request on file, that's how it sits. I have no idea what happened to my mother. She may have gone on to a different life. She may have married and had children, or perhaps not. I have no way of knowing. And if she wishes to be anonymous, that's her business and her choice, and I respect that.
Right.
And I believe that it's correct that if the adoptive person, that's me, wants anonymity that should also be respected, and that's the way it is now.
Yeah, I think that's a good law, and that's the way it should stay, I hope.
Absolutely. There was a time, apparently, when you could make an application to a court for information, but it would be all done behind closed doors in case of something like, for example, medical reasons. Suppose you needed a kidney transplant, was the example given to me. But you would never learn the identity of the people who providing the kidney. If that was the case, you might be your mother, or it might be a half-brother or something like that, but you would not be given any of the personal or contact details.
Yeah, no, well that's okay, that's a good, in that case that would be alright, but you wouldn't be revealing the identity of anyone, so that would still be safe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I'll let you go, Terry. It's very fortunate that you happened to be in the neighborhood today, and I'm really happy you took the time to stop to chat and to take the time to talk to me too today. So hopefully we'll keep in touch.
Yes, I think we will, and thank you. It's been my pleasure.